Hey GMATers, I'm back with another interesting concept and challenge. Do you know what a sentence modifier is? Are you aware of the fact that we can modify an entire clause or sentence? And do you think you would be able to solve a hard official SC question on such a concept? Well, if you can't, then you've come to the right place. In this video lesson, I'm going to explain to you sentence modifiers in detail, and I'm going to give you a framework on how to check whether we need one in a sentence or not. Then we're going to solve two hard official SC questions on this particular topic and see whether you're able to apply what you've learned. So without further ado, let's get cracking by looking at one such hard official question. Here it is on your screens. Please pause this video and give this question a shot. We don't want any spoilers. All right, assuming you solve this question, let's take a look at the statistics. As you can see, the correct answer is B. Only 27% managed to get this question correct. And a whopping 51%, that's right, more than half, get this question wrong and settle for A. Now, if you look closely, you'll see that the only difference between A and B is this modifier, hopefully, versus it is hoped, right? It is hoped has been separated by commas, whereas hopefully is part of the main sentence. So how much difference can this make to the meaning of the sentence, and why exactly is answer choice A considered incorrect by the GMAT? This is what we're going to look at today. Hello everybody, my name is Abhishek Raj. I'm a senior verbal expert here at e-GMAT, and today we're going to be discussing sentence modifiers. Let's dive in. So first, let's understand this concept. It's a very simple concept, and I'm sure it's not something that you are new to, right? You have come across this and you even use this day in and day out. Let's understand this with a very simple example. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend the wedding. Take a moment to focus on the word unfortunately. Can you tell me what is this word modifying? Is it modifying I? Is it modifying the verb won't be able to? Is it modifying attend? Will I attend unfortunately? I not be able, is unfortunately the manner in which I won't be able to? Or you could ask yourself, what is unfortunate? Do you see that this sentence means that it is unfortunate that I won't be able to attend the wedding? I hope you all see this. What is the thing that is unfortunate? It is not any one particular word in this clause after the comma. It is the entire idea after this comma that is unfortunate. Do you see that? But we have not said it is unfortunate that. We have used an ly ending word. And what are ly ending words? Yes, you guessed correct. These are called adverbs, which is why in a lot of grammar books, these are also known as sentence adverbs, right? But we don't believe in too much jargons, right? It's a modifier. If it modifies a sentence, that's all you need to know. So learn this as a sentence modifier. Let's keep things simple, all right? So unfortunately, doesn't modify the verb. It modifies the entire idea after the comma, right? I hope you agree with me. Let's take a look at another sentence. But what we understood in this first sentence is that a sentence modifier could be found in the form of a single word. But can it be more than a word? Can it be a phrase? Can it be a prepositional phrase? The answer is yes. According to Sam, Mauritius is overrated. Now, I'm sure you've seen a lot of prepositional phrases in the morning, in 1957, at the door, so on and so forth, right? Now, these tend to tell us, when they're placed at the start of the sentence, they tend to tell us the time or the place of the verb in the clause that comes after the comma. But take a look at this sentence. Is that what according to Sam is doing? What is the meaning of according to Sam? Before that, I'm sure you must be wondering, hey, how is this a prepositional phrase? I know a lot of students consider this a verb ing word. This is not a verb ing word. This is a phrasal preposition because according to behaves as a preposition and its object is Sam. According to Sam is a prepositional phrase. Please make a note of that somewhere. Now, what is according to Sam? Mauritius? Overrated? Or is this entire idea something that Sam said? That's correct. Let's write it down. Sam says that Mauritius is overrated. You see? So, according to Sam, replaces Sam says that and qualifies this clause. It means the same thing, but it is qualifying the clause. Now, let's go to the third one. Even a two-verb phrase can be used as a sentence modifier. Let's take a look. To tell the truth, I find tea parties quite boring. To tell the truth. Now, we understand two-verb phrases as phrases that tell us the intent of the verb, especially if they're placed at the start. So tell me something. Is this the intent behind the verb find? Is this why I find tea parties boring? Because I want to tell the truth? I find tea parties quite boring to tell the truth? That makes no sense. That's absurd. What is this phrase doing? What is it telling us? Well, it's telling us that I am speaking the truth when I say that I find tea parties quite boring. In other words, it is true that I find tea parties quite boring. So this two-verb phrase qualifies the entire clause after the comma as a sentence modifier. Now let's look at the fourth and final example. A verb ing modifier. That's right. Let's look at the example. Strictly speaking, the GMAT does not test us on this application of the verb ing modifier. So it's a bit of a loaded sentence, I know, but let's just focus. Strictly speaking, the GMAT does not test us. Okay, now, what is the most common function of a verb ing word placed at the start, separated by a comma? That's right, it modifies the subject. So tell me something, is the GMAT speaking strictly in the sentence? No, absolutely not. That's absurd. Second, it could even modify the verb. But then too, it would have to agree with the subject. So both ways, strictly speaking is not the modifier of GMAT or the verb tests. So what is strictly speaking doing in the sentence? In other words, who is speaking strictly? Interesting. Don't you think it's the author? Yes, it is. And it is the author who strictly believes that the GMAT does not test us on this application of the verb ing modifier. So if I were to reword it, I strictly believe that the GMAT does not test us on this application of the verb ing modifier. So, as you can see, this is actually qualifying the entire sentence, just as this introduces this entire idea. So there you have it, 4 instances of the sentence modifier. Now, you must be wondering about what the last example said. So let me share that with you now. So far on the GMAT, we have only come across the first 2 instances in official questions. We have seen single word sentence modifiers. We have seen preposition phrases such as according to. Every 5th question in the OGs has, begins with according to, right? So these 2 are replete throughout the OGs. The other 2 verb phrases and verb ing modifiers, not so much, right? So I'm going to put, question marks over here. I'm not going to put an outright rejection because we don't have any evidence of these things being tested, the last two being tested in official SE questions. Could they be there in the actual exam? Well, it's anybody's guess. There's a lot of evidence indicating that these are not tested. One, for the simple reason we do not find these in OGs, and I mean, I haven't found them as yet. Two, these are typically used in conversational English, and there's very little scope for conversational English in an SC question. So this is probably why we don't get to see these two, right? But I would keep an open mind. At least now you're aware of this, right? And you would at least be on the lookout for such things if at all they ever do appear. Now that we've understood this concept, let's look at some official examples, right? As they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. All right, so here are 3 official examples. Let's take a look at them one by one. The first one says, according to a recent study. Okay, what is according to recent studies? Retirees in the United States are 4 times more likely to give regular financial aid to their children than to receive it from them. So this whole thing is reported by a recent study. So I don't need to elaborate on this further. As I told you, there are several questions which start with according to. Remember, in all of those, this is a sentence modifier. Okay, let's look at the second one. Technically, quicksand is the term for sand that is so saturated with water that it acquires the character of a liquid. Could you spot the sentence modifier here? Very good. Technically. As always, placed at the start, separated by a comma, ly ending word looks like an adverb. The last piece of the puzzle, what is it modifying? Is it modifying quicksand? No. Is it modifying is or being? It technically is the term, right? Is that the way in which it is the term? No. What is technical? The fact that quicksand is the term for sand that is saturated with water, right? That it acquires the character of a liquid. This entire fact is a technical fact. Or it is technically true that quicksand is the term for sand that is so saturated with water, it acquires the character of a liquid. You see how this works? Let's look at one last example. As a result of a supernova explosion, every human being on Earth was bombarded on February 23rd, 1987 by about 100 billion neutrinos. Wow. Fortunately, okay, interesting. Neutrinos are harmless elementary particles that are produced in nuclear reactions and that interact very weakly with matter. Could you spot the sentence modifier? Absolutely correct. And the word is fortunately, separated from the clause by a comma, placed at the start of the second clause. So what is it that is fortunate? Well, it's the entire idea after the comma. It is fortunate that neutrinos are harmless elementary particles that are produced in nuclear reactions and that interact very weakly with matter. Otherwise, we'd all probably be dead, right? Or maybe something much worse. All right. So 3 solid official examples of sentence modifiers, right? So as I said, the GMAT is no stranger to sentence modifiers. And now we can finally get back to our official question. Let's do a meaning analysis, a thorough meaning analysis, and see if we can figure out why the original sentence is wrong. All right, let's start with sentence structure analysis. So let's quickly read. The use of gravity waves, okay, which do not interact with matter. Which do not interact with matter. Okay, so we are talking about those gravity waves in the way electromagnetic waves do. Interesting. So this is the end of that modifier of gravity waves. Hopefully will enable astronomers. So the use of gravity waves hopefully will enable astronomers to study the actual formation of black holes and neutron stars. Let me quickly bring in the bullet points. Let us use blue to mark the subject. So it's the use, which is the subject, right? And the main verb, which I'm going to mark with green, is will enable. So the million-dollar question at hand is, what is the word hopefully doing here? Is it modifying the verb, or is it supposed to modify the entire sentence? Let's check. So we know that the use of gravity waves will enable astronomers to study the formation of black holes and neutron stars. So tell me something, what is the purpose of the word hopefully here? Do we want the use of gravity waves to enable astronomers in a hopeful manner, enable astronomers to study the actual formation? Are we trying to modify enabling with hopefully the way any other adverb would, such as quickly, successfully? No, right? Hopefully clearly is the emotion, right? Or it represents the feelings of the author. Who's the person who's hoping for this? The author is hoping for this. What does that mean? This means that we are looking for a sentence adverb and not a verb adverb. Very, very important. We are looking for a sentence adverb. And what did we just learn about sentence modifiers? Absolutely correct. They need to be separated from the sentence by a comma, and they need to be placed typically at the start of the clause, right? So whichever way you look at this, answer choice A is absolutely incorrect because hopefully modifies enable. Now let's look at answer choice B. How is B any better? Well, the author has very, very intelligently taken hopefully and converted it into a clause. It is hoped, and he has separated this clause with the help of a couple of commas. Do you see that? That means we need to take it out of the sentence. It is not actually within the sentence. It refers to or modifies the entire sentence. In other words, what we get is, it is hoped that the use of gravity waves will enable astronomers to study the actual formation of black holes and neutron stars. So, as you can see, by converting hopefully to it is hoped, we have actually successfully diffused this verb modifier and converted into a sentence modifier. Of course, it is hoped can no longer be called a sentence modifier in the strictest sense of the term, but at least we create that right impact. We convey the intended meaning of the word hopefully that the author had when he started off, right? I hope you all see this now, right? I'm not going to be wasting my time with the other answer choices. I'm pretty sure you're able to eliminate those with ease, right? Let me quickly summarize the takeaways from our session today. Today, we looked at the sentence modifier. We saw that a sentence modifier can be found in the form of a word, a prepositional phrase, a two-verb phrase, or a verb ing modifier. On the GMAT, we have seen sufficient examples of these two, but when it comes to two verb phrases and verb ing modifiers, so far we do not have any official evidence pointing towards these being tested in, in actual official SE questions. But keep an open mind, you never know. Yes, there is good evidence that we would not get this in the exam because this is used mostly in, these bottom two are used mostly in conversational English. All right, what was the framework? Well, you have to do meaning analysis as always, right? And then you have to check whether that modifier modifies the verb or it modifies the entire sentence. If it does, it should be separated from the sentence or the clause by a comma, and it should be placed typically at the start of that clause. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed. This brings me to the end of my presentation. But yes, as always, I am going to leave you with a challenge. So here you have this week's challenge. Please pause your videos and give this question a fair attempt. It is a tough one, right? So please don't take it lightly. Follow the three-step approach, follow the meaning-based approach. And if in case you see a modifier that has been used as a sentence modifier, check whether it actually has been and apply the framework discussed today. Well, that's all from me for today. I honestly hope you enjoyed this presentation as much as I did. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and share this with your friends. I will be back again very soon with another interesting video. Until then, thank you for watching and happy learning.